You know, I did want to ask you, I don't know if you still have it in your hand, but would you mind just telling the story of who you heard last night and what you gave them, the medieval poem? Do you have that handy?
What were they called?
Three Hat Trio.
Three Hats Trio, yeah.
You could tell the story if you want.
Last night, here at the Art Center, we had the Three Hats Trio as one of the performing groups, and as they played their music, it brought to mind a poem, or actually a song that I had been thinking about, because I thought it sounded like something that fit their type of music. But it's a medieval song, and it's only 4 lines. Western wind, when wilt thou blow? The small rain down can rain. Christ, if my love were in my arms, and I in my bed again. That western wind in the Old English is spelled W-E-S-T-R-O-N-W-Y-N-D-E, but those lines were used for, the first line was used for the title of a really good poetry textbook. It's hard to find a copy nowadays, but.
Phil, I'm just going to close this door real quick because the fridge just came on and it's kind of loud. Okay.
This is Dancing with Margaret. Growing up, dances were part of her life. Maybelle and Bags, Meeker and Craig, with Charlene and Carmen, Mame and Lou. Like the dance at the Goose Egg up on the North Platte, where Wister's Virginian and one of his friends switched the babies around, and nobody knew till they were back home at their ranches the next day. Music and dancing, cowboys and friends. And she married me, and I didn't dance. I was too stiff to circle and sway. She didn't complain, and I didn't know the feeling of what I was taking away. Now she's gone, but I still hold her tight. And I know every song, and we dance every dance. And I take her to Maybelle and Meeker and Bags, and we dance till I play. Good night, ladies. Good night. This poem's called Steal Away. For quite a few years we kept an RV up at Frost, up on Grand Mesa, right on the lake shore. And we looked across the lake at the little cabins, and I wrote this. Come, love, and let us steal away and build a cabin by the shore of some small lake where fishes play, and make 2 old hearts young once more. We'll build a little boat with oars to nudge it on its way, and like an aspen leaf we'll float, just you and I and yesterday. We'll watch the idle hours drift by beyond the reach of cares or tears, 2 hearts companions, you and I, forever young, in spite of years. This one's called Telling Time. Not long after Verity and I became partners, she went with Barb Churchley to Europe. and I wrote this. It's called Telling Time. Time, in counting what my hours will be, do not include the nights she was away, nor count the hours of every lonely day as time allotted me. Those were not mine. If it were I who chose what hours to count and what to cast away, I'd count the hours when in my arms she lay. Those were my living hours. Count those, I'd say. And Barb Churchley was the one that had the email access in Europe, so she had to get the poem and read it to Verity. This is called Suppose There Were No Words. One time I had dropped Verity off at her son's house down near Blanca, and I was coming back to Cedar Edge. And I stopped in Gunnison at a restaurant, and somebody came in that couldn't speak. And I thought about that, and I wrote this poem on the way from Gunnison to Montrose. Suppose there were no words. Suppose there were no words. How would you know I love you? In springtime, you would hear my voice in these: the iris on the mountainside, the cranes, the apple trees. In summertime, the columbine. In autumn, purple asters, fireweed. In wintertime, soft falling snow. And anytime, you could look into my eyes and you would know. This is called Musings of a Minor God. I never tire of the game. I don't know how it came to me. It seems as if it came out of the blue. I touch my finger to the void. Who made the void I've never known. And from the void come chance and symmetry. And then there's nothing left for me to do but watch, a witness to the game I play. And if by chance I'm lucky, marvels come, wondrous things beyond the mind's imaginings. Sometimes it grows and grows like a balloon with something I call galaxies of stars. The stars themselves ring round by smaller things, on which sometimes are smaller things that move, and sounds. Once I even heard what I'd call song. Some words, I think, about something called love. I wonder, could there be a purpose to the game? The memory wing. When I play the harmonica in the memory wing, I will remember the horsewoman, Wilma, who I was told had liked Patsy Cline. So I learned crazy for her. She would fix her eyes on me, and I could believe she was here. And Kathleen, who would ask me to play I'll Take You Home, Kathleen, which her father used to sing to her. Oh, I will take you back, Kathleen, to where your heart will feel no pain. And when the fields are fresh and green, I'll take you to your home again. And Alice, who tries so hard to talk and is unintelligible, but who smiles and whose eyes sparkle when her companion of over 70 years comes and holds her hand. And the one in whom I see you, who reached out in the night.
Phil, just one second. Okay.
I'll play crazy.
Oh, thank you.
I just lost one of my friends at the memory wing. She was an ancient looking lady, kind of dark, wrinkled, and she sat in a rocking chair and rocked a baby doll. I'd play Brahms' lullaby for her. But I thought about her, and I thought that it seemed like everything was gone except love. She just sat there and held that baby doll, and that was seemed to be her whole life at the end. And that's one of the reasons I go there, is that I learned so much from those people. This is a letter to Mary Catherine in heaven, just east of Chicago. Dear Mary Catherine, do you remember the party in the 4th grade when we played spin the bottle? You said you loved me, and when my turn came, I said I loved Ruth Ann. All the boys loved Ruth Ann. Mary Catherine, this is to tell you I love you, Phil. Emily Dickinson has a poem that has these lines in it. Pleased to tell a little pilgrim where the place called morning lies. And this is my answer. I will tell you, little pilgrim, where the place called morning lies. For I woke this morning and saw it in her eyes. I saw her auburn tresses and felt her hand in mine. I will tell you, little pilgrim, where the place called morning lies. I think that one was written about Verity. This one was written about Margaret. It's called 3 Miracles. 3 miracles occurred as one. A robin song, your hand in mine, and then the morning sun. But looking back, there was a pause. Not miracles at all. The bird and sun were just effects. Your hand in mine, the cause.
That's beautiful.
Starry night. If oxytocin causes love and not my own free will, then praised be oxytocin's God, but I will love you still. If starlight is the birth of love, will I love you less? How would it change my love for you to know love's starriness? I will look up at starry night and see the starlight in your eyes, and reaching out to touch your hand, remember where love's country lies. This is Margaret's song. She used to play a Schubert waltz, a little short thing. It's waltz number 2 in A flat, called Yearning. The aspen are turning, and soft autumn breezes send golden leaves out on the water to play. Come with me, my darling, back to the Blue Mountain, where we were companions in love's yesterday. The aspen are turning. Come lie down beside me and tell me you love me as in days gone by. And we will be springtime and summer and autumn and snow on the mountain. We two, you and I. This poem's called Butterfly. I'll tell you about it. Margaret and I had met in Grand Junction in about 1952, and then I moved down to New Mexico, and she was in nurses training at St. Mary's, but it was a one-year program, and she moved back to St. Joe's in Denver, and we didn't see each other for a year or two. And I was working up in Gillette, Wyoming, but my headquarters were Grand Junction, so I was driving back to Grand Junction from Gillette. I stopped in Craig, Colorado for gas. That was Margaret's hometown. And she saw my car, which was a 1948 Studebaker Commander convertible, black with red leather upholstery. She saw it from across the street. By the time she got across the street, she had remembered my name. And so we talked, and she invited me back, and I came back 2 weeks later, and then every 2 weeks, all spring and summer, and we got married in the fall. But this poem, Butterfly, was based on that story. What butterfly disturbed the air and changed the world and swept me where I chanced to see you passing by? Dear butterfly, dear butterfly. In our town, this is the poem that captured Verity. In our town, 20 women, elderly, widows mostly, sit alone at night watching television or reading books, just to pass the time and ward off loneliness, dreaming of what has been or might have been. Excuse me. Of hands they have held or wish they had. The next day is the same, and every day. And in the same town, 20 aged men, widowers for the most part, sit alone, watching television or reading books just to pass the time and ward off loneliness, dreaming of what has been or might have been, of hands that they have held or wish they had. The next day is the same, and every day. Nothing changes except that they grow older. It does seem sad it has to be this way. If it should be that you were one of these, and somehow you found out that I was too, would you be bold enough to touch my hand? Would I be brave enough to comfort you? The ties that bind. This was written for Margaret as we drove to Grand Junction one day. What miracle of alchemy transformed a starry residue by rules of chance and symmetry to such a thing as you? What forces in the atom's heart conspired time out of mind to draw together two apart and form the ties that bind? They bind together you and me, and will not be undone, although the moon forsake the sea and earth break from the sun. One time I went to Willow Tree to read to the people in their main gathering room and play the harmonica, and they gathered up 8 or 10 people. I got there early, and so they rounded them up, and then I waited till the time I was supposed to play, and by that time they'd all pretty much disappeared. One into a coat closet.
Whoop.
But after I was done, a nurse came in and asked me if I would go to a patient's room. A girl who couldn't come to the main room, and I went to her room, and it was a girl named Robin who had been severely injured in a car accident and paralyzed. Couldn't move anything but her eyes, but she was cognizant. So I read to her, and I wrote this afterwards. It's after reading to Robin from Yeats, Dickinson, and others. It's called Room 37. This is the room where Robin lies. Robin with the knowing eyes. Robin lying still as still, only moving eyes and will. Do you hear the feathered thing that perches in your soul to sing? Will you arise and go with me in your heart's core to Innisfree? In my mind I see you there, apple blossoms in your hair. How beautiful can beauty be? I believe that everything beautiful is true. I believe in music, and I believe in you. I believe in golden leaves against a sky of blue. I believe in meadow flowers, and I believe in you. I believe in butterflies in the morning dew. I believe in azure eyes, and I believe in you. Wherever there's a beautiful, wherever there's true, I hear your voice and feel your touch, and I believe in you. This is called Love Song. Praise symmetry and simplicity and chance and chaos and complexity and arrows of time. Praise Orion and the night sky and sun and moon and earth and life and mind. Praise the new snow on the mountain and all beautiful and wonderful things that fill our lives. But save the highest praise for love, sweet, mysterious love, for your hand in mine, for love. Praise love, praise love. Excuse me a minute. This is called Tell Me Love. When I print it, I have a picture of a Greek ruin that we visited one time, Margaret and I. It's on the island of Rhodes. The poem's called Tell Me Love. Tell me, love, relate to me your epic tale, your odyssey. What have you been, that now you're a spirit on this circling star? What Ithaca did you call home? Where have your youth's companions gone? On what blue seas, what winds of chance, by what strange chain of circumstance have you come here to me and mine? From stardust through the mist of time. And this is an old man speak to those who are young. If I could wish you anything at all, I'd wish that love be there when you're old. Let someone lie beside you in the night to keep you warm, to keep you from the cold. I'd wish for hands that reach out in the dark, a voice that lets you know it comes from love, someone beside you looking at the stars. The stars, the stars, the everlasting stars. Love came to me again when I was old and made me young. But then one night she left and left me here. But still she holds me tight in memory and starry, starry night. Oh, hands that reach out in the dark. Oh, stars. Oh, starry, starry night. And that's the last of my poems. And well, no, it's not. I put another one in that's not in the book, but I wanted to read it. It's called Bright Angel. If I should fall in love again and hold another's hand, it would be because of you. Would you understand? You made me fall in love with love. What am I to do with hands that held your loving hands and songs meant just for you? Bright angel, I could love again if I knew you knew. You made me fall in love with love because love brought me you. That was written for Margaret just before Verity became my companion. And then in the front of the book I have a part of a poem by Walt Whitman. Camarado, I give you my hand. I give you my love, more precious than money. I give you myself before preaching or law. Will you give me yourself? Will you come travel with me? Shall we stick by each other as long as we live? It's the end of that book.
How beautiful. Would you mind playing a few songs if you feel up to it? I could take the book. Whatever you wish.